Welcome back to my channel. Today is Sunday and we are filming another weekend vlog. Now I've already done some filming yesterday. I had my son's friends over here for a play date, so I couldn't really sit down and do any intros. So when it's quiet this morning, I thought I'll just do an intro for the video, although it is Sunday. I filmed yesterday how I decorated for Chinese New Year. Now I'm going to take you around obviously and show you how I decorated, because I will be putting some footage after this in from yesterday. But I wanted to stop by here just to explain a little bit why it is that we celebrate Chinese New Year in my home. The reason is that my grandfather, I will insert a picture here as you can see. My grandfather came from mainland China. He met my grandmother, who's in this picture, who's of Dutch and German descent, and then they had 3 kids. Now there are only 2 children here. One is my mom and it's her younger brother. I think their youngest hasn't been born yet. So that's why we celebrate Chinese New Year in my home. My children are a real mix. I am half Persian. And when I talk about Persian, I'm talking about the older Persians, the Zoroastrian Persians who used to worship the fire. I know those of you watching from India probably know a little bit more about this than I do. All I know is that my father came from India. He was born there but lived most of his life in Sri Lanka. He was a Parsi, and he married my mum, who is half Chinese and half Dutch German descent. So I am a quarter Chinese, a quarter Dutch German descent and half Parsi. And then I met my husband, who is half Swedish and half Sinhalese, whose mum comes from Sri Lanka. So it's really interesting because although I've lived in Sri Lanka or grown up in Sri Lanka for most of my life, I left there when I was 21 and moved to England, I have absolutely no Sinhalese blood. And my husband, who is half Sinhalese, has never lived in Sri Lanka. Obviously, he's been there to visit, and that's where we met, but he's never lived in Sri Lanka. So my kids, on the other hand, are a real jumble. So if I was to break it down, they are a quarter Swedish, a quarter Sinhalese. So it's quarter Swedish, quarter Sinhalese, even I'm getting confused. A quarter Persian or Parsi, and the other quarter 1/8 Chinese and 1/8 Dutch German. So we've got a complete mix. I'm supposing the Dutch and German could be combined with the Swedish, and it will be they're a little bit more European, but they are a big mix. And at home in my house, I like to celebrate, because I like decorating and all that, but I like to celebrate all the different heritages that my kids and I have. It's so wonderful to be mixed, and I'm not saying it's the only way to be, but we are really mixed, and I am a strong believer of really embracing your backgrounds. If you are mixed, or if you are fully Swedish, or if you are half and half, I think it's really important that you embrace your background, embrace what you have, and enjoy what you have. I mean, if you are fully Indian or you're fully American, just really cave into that. Be fully American or be fully Indian. I absolutely love being mixed. I feel like that has allowed me not to be pigeonholed into any single country. I feel like I am a person of the world. I really believe that, and I'm trying to instill that in my kids. So we celebrate Swedish customs, Chinese customs, Sinhalese customs. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because in April we're going to be doing Sinhalese New Year. So today is Sunday and we are really having a few people over for dinner. Now that was a fun initial plan, but all of a sudden some friends of ours called and said, oh, we've nothing to do after church, can we come over for lunch? Now we did try to get everybody together for dinner, but they couldn't do dinner, so we're having them over for lunch. So I'm not doing a Chinese menu for lunch. For dinner we're going to do a Chinese menu, but for now I need to sort out what I'm going to do for lunch. Come along with me, and before we get to the shops, I'm going to put in some footage from yesterday and show you how I decorated my home for Chinese New Year. So I hope you enjoy this vlog, and let's get on with it. What am I going to say? It is just the worst parenting moment for the week. Now, as you know, last week, if you followed on my blog, I was talking about being able to go back and forth to work without the kids because they were sick at home with my husband, and how rejuvenating and how nice it was to have that break. And some of you reached out to me and understood, so I'm grateful for that. But I am going to be very authentic on my channel and really real. So I am going to put this out there. Some of you might maybe get upset with me, or I don't know, or some of you probably understand, so I am just going to say it. So this week, because last week they were at home, they were back with me. I really enjoyed having their company back and forth from work after having a break. We stopped, I think, on Wednesday, and we had a fika. Fika in Sweden is usually just a coffee or a warm drink or even a cold drink with a baked good. So we went to the grocery store close by. They've opened up a cafe here. So we had a hot chocolate there, and I took the two kids there. Then they got to go to grocery store and pick out some sweets for Saturday. They did that on Wednesday. Last week I took you and I showed you what the loose sweets look like. They usually don't always go and pick loose sweets, but I allowed them to do that on Wednesdays. So basically what happened was I really enjoyed the week. My weeks are structured so that I have a different schedule every single day. The staff in my school, or in the school that I work at, have a different schedule, so we rotate. One day I close the school, one day somebody else closes the school. So some days I start early and my kids have breakfast at school. Some days we start later and then I give them something here, or we buy something on the way, or I make sandwiches for the bus. So on Friday this week, I was starting somewhere in the middle, and especially on a Friday, it rotates even more. So every 7 weeks, we have a roster for a Friday. So no Friday is the same for the first 7 weeks. So we were having 8 to 4:15. A work schedule this year on Friday, and my husband and I, we took it easy. We cuddled with the kids, and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go at 10 past 8. My elder son has to go to work. I needed to be at work at around 8:15, so that would work fine. And my husband said, oh, I can drop you off at work, it's no stress. And okay, that was fine. So we get ready, we hang out, and we get ready, and we get in the car, and we are on our way, and we drop my elder son off because he needs to get to school. And then we go to my school. And my younger son, I'm like, oh, you need to go outside and I'll come. I've got some meetings on and stuff like that. And he goes to me, well, Mom, I'm hungry. I haven't had any breakfast. And I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. I mean, my younger son, it was fine. He didn't have breakfast. I could give him some sandwiches at the school. But I had sent my oldest son to school without any breakfast. I mean, what kind of mother does that? So I was just gutted. Now, his school is close to my school, and I could have gone and given him a sandwich, and most often that's probably what I would have done. But I had back-to-back meetings. I couldn't leave. I was showing parents around the school. It was just a horrible feeling, and I knew that he had had an early dinner the night before because he'd gone to Scouts. So I was just, it was just a horrible feeling all day long. And I was just feeling so sad, so gutted, and such a horrible mother, really beating myself up because I knew he'd have to wait till 11 o'clock for lunch. And then he came over to me once he had finished with school, and I told him, I said, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't have any breakfast. And his answer was, it was fine, I wasn't hungry. It's okay, Mom. And I was like, these kids sometimes, they are so resilient, they are so wonderful, they forget about these things, they forgive us so easily. I just felt so blessed to have a son who was just so blasé about the whole thing and not really giving me a hard time. I love that about kids. They're in the here, in the now. I don't know how he felt. If I'd spoken to him just before lunch and when he was hungry, he might have had another reaction to it, and we will never know. But when he came to school, he was so sympathetic. He was so blasé about the whole thing. I was just so relieved in myself. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you know that you know, everybody is not alone. We have a horrible parent moments. I also had one actually on Wednesday that my son was complaining about having a bath, and I just lost it. I you know, obviously I don't hit my kids and I don't hurt them in any way, and I'm totally against it. I grew up with that sort of discipline in Sri Lanka, and I don't believe in it at all. But you know, as parents, you always just get so frustrated and so angry. He was complaining, and we'd had such a nice afternoon. We'd gone for the fika and everything, and he was just, I don't know, it was just horrible. And then I just shouted at him, I screamed at him and said, "You're going to have a bath and don't argue with me," and all this. And then he was like, "Oh Mom, I forgot, I had gym at school and I had a bath then." And I was like, yes, of course you had gym and of course you had a bath. I forgot. He didn't tell me, and it was also a really bad parenting moment that we could have just easily avoided had I remembered he'd have a bath after gym, and had he actually told me he'd had a bath after gym instead of arguing with me about going in for a bath. So those are my two really horrible parenting moments. I just want to put it out there for any of those of you who are feeling like you're a horrible parent. We all have those days. I feel really guilty this week for having shouted at him and not given him any breakfast. But we're going to get over it, and we're going to start decorating for Chinese New Year, because in the Chinese New Year calendar, it's a new year, a new beginning. So I'm going to start with that. These runners are really long. They are for the center of the table. But I used them in a very unconventional way last year. I hung them over the railings of the curtains here, and they look like these sort of red banners hanging down, and they really made a big statement or impact. So this is the railings. I'm just going to drape these over. These I wanted to show you how you fix them up. So these ones store flat, so they're really easy to store. And then you just pull it up, and you've got a metal insert like this. And you push it in. And then at the bottom of it, you've got two pieces that you attach. And then at the top, you have these two holes here, as you can see. I don't know if this is there. And then you just push this one in. Push this one in, and this one in here, and that's done. And then it holds its shape like setting is done. It was very simple. You saw how I made that. Just going to put these things away. I haven't really found a place for this one. Last year I had it hanging down from the lantern here, so I think I'm going to put that there, and then I will move the candles over there, probably a little bit further down there so it doesn't catch. These ones are really interesting. My mother-in-law had them. They used to use them for Christmas here in Sweden in the 70s. So they are vintage, they're beautiful, and I found them this year, and I was like, where can I use it for Christmas? Because it was a bright red. As you can see, it's very much this sort of Chinese bright colored red that I don't really use in my decor at home so much. But my husband was like, oh, but you can use it for Chinese New Year. It would really work well. And he's absolutely right. The colors are gorgeous. It matches exactly the color to these lanterns. So it worked out perfect. Thrilled standing from here in the back, you can see it looks very festive, very lovely. So Chinese New Year decor is done. So start taking out some food and showing you what I have. So like I said, my mum makes these Chinese dumpling buns, which are over here. And then we've got some spring rolls. So we're not so many of us, we're just 6 of us with 2 kids. So I think this should be quite good. Basically, when you make them frozen, I like to have a box and you put a sheet of kitchen towel down because that's going to absorb the water and stop the spring rolls when they thaw from being getting soggy. So these are what they look like. They're homemade spring rolls. My mom makes vegetarian ones. They're so delicious. So I'm going to layer them down like this. As you can see, 4 of them spread out. So then they soak up into that. I'll just take another half. We get these in halves here in Sweden. I prefer to buy the halves. They save a lot of paper that way. Close it up and put it in the fridge so it will be nice and thawed for tomorrow. I've just got back from the shop and I thought I'd do a little bit of a haul of what I bought. I really need to get my skates on and let you know what I'm going to use and for what. So I bought these marshmallows. Now everything is in all disheveled in the bag, so it's in no particular order. So I bought marshmallows. My husband loves to dip these into the chocolate fondue, so that's for the chocolate fondue. I bought this. This is called semlor. I'll see if I can open it up for you. It is a special treat or sweet baked good here that we have in Sweden. And my husband's friend who's having his birthday today, it's his favorite. So I have bought him one. So instead of a cake, it's what we look like. It's a big bun with all this cream inside. It needs to go into the fridge. So we'll take this one out and then we'll put a candle on it and then we'll sing happy birthday for him. So I bought that one. It was only one left. I was really, really lucky with that one. So good. Okay. Then I needed some bread. This is, it says rollkaka. It's the bread that we have. It's round bread we have with eggs and cheese and ham, anything that we want. These are some meringues I got also for the chocolate fondue. They were also doing a deal on ham. We love to have ham in this house. We eat a lot of ham and breakfast meat, so that's that. It's easy for the week for the kids. Then I bought this one for Valentine's Day. I thought I'd have some of these out as well since Valentine's Day is close by, and it's also red for Chinese New Year. So I got these. These are sort of like jellies. They're called jujups in Sri Lanka. They're like sort of gummies, chewy gummies. What else have I got here? Yes, I've got some milk. This is the full fat milk that we use here in Sweden. My husband likes to have it. So this is really tasty with like chocolate cakes and all that. So we have that one. We need it to fill up. I have bought a pineapple. They were saying that selling the pineapples really cheap, and as you can see, this looks really, really ripe. So I have some friends coming over for lunch and they love pineapples, so I thought I'd cut this one up and have this as well with the fondue, or we could just have it on the side as well with some ice cream. So that's that. Then I bought for Chinese New Year, I'm going to make some soup today, as well as some spring rolls. I bought these soup packets. I thought it would be just easy to make 4 of these and add vegetables and stuff into it without having to do everything from scratch. I'm going to try this one out. I've got leftover that really spicy chili paste from that Korean noodle that I had recently. I had a subscriber reach out to me and said that they ate it. So I am really, really impressed. You know who you are if you are watching this. But I tried these ones. I'm having friends over, so I got the mild, and then I thought I could add a little bit of the sauce that I had left over in the fridge. So I got 4 packets of those. I got a beef and a veggie noodle for the children, so they can have that one as well. What else did I buy? Yes, so to add into those soup noodles, these ones here, I bought some shiitake mushrooms. I thought that would be fun to have on salsa. I had some spring onions to add into that as well. Oh, and I bought loads and loads of strawberries because everybody loves strawberries with the chocolate fondue. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 packs. Or did I not buy more? I thought I bought more. 4, here we are. 5 packs. They were doing them for a deal. They were 25 crowns each. Then I bought bananas. My husband loves to have bananas with his fondue, and a lot of friends do as well, in an expensive way. I bought some cans of coconut because I am going to make for lunch chicken curry. So I decided when I went to the shop. Sometimes what I do is I go to the section where they are selling food cheap because it's going out, the sell by date is gone, and have a look there, and then sometimes I make my meals around there. So when I got there, I was trying to do salad, but they were having chicken on a deal, as you can see, it's red. So I saved, I haven't got my glasses on, but it was 26 krona for the chicken here. It's 900 grams, and this is also 900 grams, and this was also 26. So it was a really good deal. So I bought 2 of those to make for chicken curry. I'm planning to make both because I can make both and then put them in the freezer to freeze for another day. So that bag's done. What else have I got? Yes, I bought some broccoli because we want to have some broccoli in the soup as well. Did I mention I bought bok choy? So I'm going to make those noodles, and then I'm going to add all of this into that. So stay tuned. Then I bought some mandarins to have on the table because it is obviously very traditional of the Chinese New Year. What else have I got? I got bacon because my friend who's coming for dinner, he lived in Abu Dhabi, and he brought back with him a bunch of dates which need to be eaten up. So we like to make dates wrapped with bacon. So I've got some bacon for that. He's coming with the dates. A little bit of ginger for my stir fry if I wanted. And then I got these chocolates. I got 2 light chocolates and a dark chocolate. We'll mix them all for the fondue because that's there. I need to go and get the fondue set from outside. And then I bought these. I didn't buy very much. I couldn't find, even at the dollar store. I went there yesterday, but I couldn't find any. I was looking for like some sort of garland or streamer that I could have upstairs for Valentine's Day. It was very difficult to find. But I picked these up at the grocery store. These are confetti balloons. How many? Oh, there are 4 of them. So those will look quite pretty upstairs. We'll see if I can get them done. And these are to hang. They look like individual ones. I thought maybe I could make a garland out of it. I don't know. And then I bought some ribbon. It's always easy to add some ribbon to anything, and then that would be so that's really all I got for Valentine's Day. A little bit disappointing, but we'll have to make do. So I'm going to do some onions. I'm going to make a really quick chicken curry. My friends love chicken curry and waffles. We used to have this in Sri Lanka. My mom's friend used to make it, and I remember growing up as a child. So it was chicken curry, waffles, and a sort of a raw onion mixed sambal, which I absolutely love. I introduced it to my friends, and they all love it. And then today when I went to the shop, I really didn't know what I was going to make. I was thinking maybe a salad of some sort for lunch. But when I went to that section, like I said in my haul, they were doing chicken on sale. So it was like, it was just meant to be. So it was like sort of, you know what they say, winner winner chicken dinner. So it was a winner winner chicken lunch. So I'm tidying up as I go along. I like to tidy up as I go along just because I don't want to have a big mess in the kitchen. But I'm going to get everything in. So it's just basically onions, garlic and ginger. I'm making 2 kilos, so it's quite a lot of chicken. So I'll make it in 2 batches. I'll make 1 batch first and then the next batch. And just because I can make so much, and then if it's left over, I just freeze it, because once I cook it, I can put it in the freezer. And then next time when I have guests over, I just need to pull something out. Sometimes when I have guests over, I feel lethargic and tired, and I just pull out something my mother probably has made. But today I was feeling like cooking, and also I wanted to have some content for you guys. So I had to chop some garlic because I didn't have any garlic, so that's going to go in. The onions are already in with some oil, a little bit of oil. And then I'm going to get some garlic and some ginger. I usually like to have them on hand in bottles because it's easy in a pinch, but I'm doing it like that. These are coconut spoons that we get from Sri Lanka. As you can see, it's made from the coconut shell, and even this wood part is from coconut tree. I absolutely love it because it's so easy to cook with. As you can see, the chicken here is so good, I don't need to wash it or anything. So once everything is cooked here, I'm just going to add the chicken. And then I'm just going to get my spices out. So we've got chili I'm going to be using. We're going to be using some turmeric. We are going to be using some cinnamon. We add some cloves and garlic. Cloves and cardamom. And then our most famous thing that we're going to use is the roasted curry powder. This is very Sri Lankan. This is the Sri Lankan roasted curry powder, so it has a few other mixes as well. But that's what we're going to use. Do we need anything else? No, we don't. So now the onions and garlic look like they're pretty sauteed out. Let me show you what it looks like. Spread them out a little bit. And then I'm just going to start adding in my chicken. As you can see, the chicken here is so beautifully cleaned and washed. I don't have to do a thing to it. In Sri Lanka, you have to wash it, and it's a lot more work. So I'm just going to put all the chicken in here. And I'm going to let it cook for a little bit. And once this pot is done, I'm going to bring out another pot and do the other chicken in that pot. I think it's going to save me time that way. And I can just bang one of these pots into the dishwasher. Otherwise I'm not going to get anything done. So I got a phone call, but I did make the first batch. So now I'm going to do the second batch of chicken, and then I will show you the spices as I put it in this time. So I've just added the satsumas like this into a bowl, and I'm going to place it on the dining table just because it's traditional to have some oranges and satsuma. I'm just going to do a little bit of organizing as well. Oh no, I dropped one. So let's see if we can put it here in the middle to have a little bit of orange here. There we go. These bowls are for some of the soups and the sauces. Dropped satsuma in there. I need to take out some of my mother's cake to have that as well. And then we are pretty good to go. Let's put this cake back on the table. It's nice to have some of my mum's cake out. This is usually, we have this for special occasions. It's called love cake. It's made with cashew nuts. It's a really great recipe. This is my great grandmother's recipe, so I love it. It's delicious. And my mum makes them, she puts them in the freezer, and then I pull them out as and when I need. They're really sweet, and they're made from a lot of sugar, and cashew nuts is so delicious, but you don't want to have them out all the time. So I have them wrapped in the freezer, and then I just bring them out whenever I can. So let's get on with the chicken, and I will show you the spices I'm going to put in. Okay, so I'm ready to start adding the spices to the next one. I'm going to add some cardamoms. Now, to be very honest, I make chicken curry all the time, so I don't really think about what I put. I just add. I'm so used to it. Some cloves, a teaspoon of turmeric, color and flavor, chili. I don't make things too hot because I have other people eating it as well, so the kids are eating, but I could maybe make this one actually spicier because I'm making it into batter. So
quite a bit of chili with this one. And then we got ourselves some of the curry paste. As you can see, it's a very dark color. So we've got a roasted curry paste. This is all roasted. And then you've got an unroasted, which you use as well. I'm not using that in there. You don't usually use that in meat. And then I'm going to add some cinnamon powder instead of a cinnamon stick. So, give all of that close. And then I just need to give everything a good stir, make sure everything is incorporated. And this way, the spices get a chance to cook and bloom as well. You want their fragrance and flavors, it's important. I'm sorry if you've got all the background noise, but it's going to have to do. So the chicken curry is looking lovely. You can see this one's looking a lot redder. I put a lot more chili. This one is milder. It's looking very pale there. But I will add some tomato to that and it will look good as well. So then we're going to add some coconut milk. I buy this coconut milk. You can shake it or you can just add everything into it and it will just mix. I usually have tomato paste on hand, so that's really easy. Just add a bit there. I forgot to add it into this one, but I'm just going to add it in there for a little bit of color and flavor. In Sri Lanka, we don't use tomato paste. Obviously, we use proper tomatoes. But, you know, when you start living abroad, you end up all of these shortcuts. And then your curries end up being a little bit more milder and a lot more catered to the Western world. I mean, it happens with Chinese food and all sorts of food. It's just the way it is. So I'm gonna let that cook some more. So now I'm just adding the coconut milk of the can. So simple. I've grated coconut myself and squeezed out the milk in Sri Lanka. It's such a process. But you know, some of them who make rice and curry every day in Sri Lanka, they grate coconut every single day and they take out the milk. It's unbelievable. I have a lot of admiration for a lot of the Sinhalese village housewives who cook on a regular basis. They go to work, look after their kids. Some of them wake up at 4 in the morning. I cannot complain about my life. They work so hard and they don't earn as much. It's, you know, sometimes I wonder how I was given this life and why some other woman is suffering. I remember Angelina Jolie said the same thing, and I had been thinking of that and I heard her say it and I was like, I don't understand it. Some people go through so much hardship and so much pain, and it's just, I am so grateful for my life and everything I have. My mom spoke to a friend of hers who's having a problem with her hands. It's an eczema and she's got cracks everywhere. She can't entertain it. She's just at home alone, and you know, it's so sad the amount of suffering we have around the world. But I want to be able to be conscious of that, and my children to be conscious of that. And you know, it's just what it is. But simple task for me as opening a can of coconut milk and pouring it in reminds me of all the women in the world who don't have a coconut can, who have to grate the coconut, crack it, grate it, squeeze out the milk, and do a lot more extra work than I do living here. So it's I don't know. I mean, and I can't remember to give my kids their breakfast in the morning sometimes. It's just, I don't know. It's an awful feeling. Okay, enough sadness now. The chickens are done, the chicken curry. So I'm going to leave these two to, this one to simmer as well. And then we're going to start on the batter for the waffles, because that would be easy to take. But I'm not going to film all of that. This video is going to be so long. But I just wanted to show you how we make chicken curry, especially for those of you in India. Let me know if it's similar or very different. I think you'll make a lot more tomato-based curries. Let me get the waffle mix done and I will get back to you guys. So now I'm just taking out these strawberries, putting them into a colander so that I can, I was going to put 2 of them. I'm going to use 3 strawberries for us who's coming now for lunch, because my friends really love strawberries, the ones who come now. So I'm going to do that, and then I've got 2 packs left, which I'm going to put in the fridge for, well, leave them out for dinner, because they probably won't want to have that many strawberries. Okay, so I'm going to wash that up. Look at the size of the strawberries. Look at my hand. It's huge. Sometimes when you get these really big ones, you're not sure how good they're going to taste, but they're going to have to do. But they were on a really, really good deal. So wanted to show you the fondue set. It's an old vintage fondue set from my mother-in-law. I love it. I have to wash it up. It's metal, as you can see, it's a little bit dirty there. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to give it a wash and I'm going to use it. So that part is there. Oh, it's very cold. It's a little fondue pot. It's not very big. And then it had the gas part, but I don't use the gas part. I use a small little candle. I'll just use this one. You have this one here and then on top like that, and then I close it with the lid, and then I put the fruit and everything around here so then everybody can just get to what they want, and then the chocolate is in the middle. I'm making chocolate fondue. My husband made this for me the first time he met me, so it really is a lovely way to enjoy food and dessert. I've never made a cheese fondue. Maybe that should be my next on the list when I'm entertaining, but I wanted to show you that and how I'm going to set it up just before everybody comes. At that time it's going to be quite difficult for me to do any sort of filming. So got lots of meringues. There's no pretty way to do this. I could make my own meringue sometimes, but I'm going to go with store-bought today. Just going to put them there. There's quite a lot of them. They were on sale, so I bought quite a bit. The bananas are going to go black, so I'm not going to put them. But as you can see, the meringues and the marshmallows look really good. And then I'm going to pineapple and put the pineapple on top there. So this is somewhat ready. I've got to put the chocolate in, and this is a cast iron bowl, so pan. So it's really easy for me to put on the stove to make the fondue. It's onions and lime in it, and we like to put some sugar. Make it sweet. It's quite a lot of sugar going into it because the lime is quite sour. So, and then I just take my hands and give everything a good mix, and if I need to I can add more lime. I have lots more lime I could put if I wanted to. Pieces here. So my friends are about to come. So she'll start really getting the waffle mix done. I wanted to get this one down and out of the way as well. Cracked pepper into it. Salt. And more lime. Should have had lemons, but my husband bought these limes a few days ago, and I really need to use them, so I'm going to use them. I entertain. I mean, sometimes my colleagues ask me, I'm always entertaining in the weekends, and yes, I do. I entertain a lot. I enjoy it, but I also don't need to stress so much. It's because it's always very close friends and relatives, so That was good. It's got a bit tangy. I need a little bit more sugar, and then that will be done. Now I'm going to make the waffle mixture. It's really easy. I'm going to make it in a big bowl. I'm going to make a double batch, obviously. We are quite a few of us, and the kids are going to eat as well. So I'm going to do that. I've got the waffle iron heating up, and then once I've done all that, I will show you what everything looks like, because then I'm going to get back to you when I cook the noodles for dinner. Whew, what a day. I am absolutely loving it. It looks really, really pretty over there. I hope you enjoyed watching me decorate as well, but I will see you in a little bit once I've got everything done. So the table is set, as you can see, for dinner. We've had our friends over for lunch. And I've reset the table for dinner. I've lighted up the candles and everything is neat and tidy. I've got to get some extra soup spoons for these two spaces because I realized we needed 2 more plate settings, and everything else is looking neat and tidy. Candles are lit, and I am going to get the kitchen ready because the kitchen mess. I haven't cleaned any of it up after lunch, but I did run the dishwasher, so that's done. So it's the second sitting for the evening. I am cooking some of the soup. Some of the soup is ready. I've got my fish sauce on hand. I've got my sesame oil on hand. I've got my packs of soup. I'm cutting my bok choy, planning out some of the food, just cutting everything open and making sure everything is clean and all that, and then I will just have to put all the noodles together, the stir fry very, very quickly. So we're going to go and get changed into something red because we are now celebrating Chinese New Year. Lunch went off really well. Everything is, you know, my hat's off to all the people who actually film when their guests arrive, because a lot of my friends don't know that I'm on YouTube. Plus, it's also so much happening to film. It's really, really difficult. But the chicken curry went down really well, and we ate up all the waffles and the fondue. I made some extra fondue for this evening, and now I'm just sorting out this. But I'm going to go and quickly put on something red, and I will be back in the kitchen in a little bit. So I'm back. I got ready in something red. I'm just wearing a red skirt, and on top I had to put something inside black, but I'm all ready now for dinner. So it's time to just do some preparations. So I'm stir frying some of the spring onions. Got a few carrots for color. I should have had more, but I have to. This is what it looks like so far. Some mushrooms and broccoli.
Or you can cut them up or tear up the but don't.
And then like that. How are you going to open them and send them?
Then just pull it.
What how much money you got? You don't have the reduction.
That's you use money. That's
Thank you
important.
so much.
You're welcome.
So the evening is done. We're going to have dessert. I did film an intro, but I wanted to pop by here just to say thank you so much for sticking around with me. And I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I thought I wouldn't get to do an outro, but I think it would be just nice to do an outro now when I have a few minutes. Everyone's watching a movie upstairs. We started watching Harry Potter. There is a friend of ours who hasn't seen it yet, so we're going to start with the first one, and then obviously as the weeks progress and the months progress, whenever they're here, we'll probably watch one Harry Potter at a time. But thank you so much for joining me. I am exhausted. I've been in the kitchen all day long. It's been so much fun, so enjoyable, but I'm ready to go sit down and have a cup of coffee and a really nice quiet evening with everybody upstairs. So I'm going to say thank you very much again, and I will see you in the next vlog. Don't forget, the next one's going to be up in the north of Sweden, where we're going to have lots and lots of snow. So I'll see you then. Bye bye.